Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. This is Martin Wong, your host, and this morning we are with the US market. That's right. Now remember, effectively from the 1st of October, right, the show has been reformatted to focus on the US market because we do think in the coming quarter, perhaps the remaining what we have for October, November, December, and also 2024. Remember, 2024 will be the presidential election year for the US market in here. And this is something myself and also my fellow speaker from USmart, Mr. Kevin Tan, talked about it last Wednesday. All right? No, sorry. This Wednesday. So make sure you check out this Wednesday talk and some of the things that we highlighted for the US market so you don't miss out on what's going to be happening on the Robie. Now let's take a look what we have for you this morning in the market that precede what we have for the US market with SmartRobie in here. Now we do know the heavy selling that we are seeing right now. Let me just show you a picture of the S&P 500. Let me just get down to it here and just scroll it up, and you can see the market has already broken down the so-called the support, the 4,200 level here that you see, which is really the major support, and also broken the ATR stop loss. And usually when you break through this ATR stop loss, we may see a little bit downside now. But some of you may say, hey Martin, you did say that in October we are likely to be the October month. No doubt that is still quite true, bearing in mind October is the generally is the market bottoming. We will have to see, based on the so-called price action of VSA, which is the methodology that we follow here, volume spread analysis. So we just have to wait whether we see huge volume coming in or probably some sort of announcement. But based on what just happened last night, we have a slew of so-called earnings from the some of the major tech companies, including Meta and Amazon, which actually beat the estimate, but still go lower despite reporting better revenue. And why is that? So hang on to it, and I'm going to be explaining to you what's really happening in this market in here. So let's take a look at the agenda. What we have this morning is switching to a wider chart here, right? And the US market is in red Pentagon, as I said before, even from last week. You can see on top of me here. Let me just get the that's right. That's much better here. You can see last week it actually turned red Pentagon on the 19th of October, which is I already forewarned many of our audience who are listening right now that this market has broken in more, and also very similar for the KLSE, which also going to be breaking down in here. So for us to talk about the KLSE and the Bursa market, make sure you check me on Monday morning, because on Monday we dedicate ourselves to the Bursa KLSE, and for the so-called for the Friday will be the US market. Now the down signal is already here for the Nasdaq and also for both three market, S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and also the Dow Jones. We'll also be looking into the hot sectors as well as the stage 2 shares, which usually we take a look at it, and of course the Robie FA stock, which is the Robie fundamental analysis stocks, will give you some sort of coverage dividend. We have two stocks that really pay dividend quite well in here. Now remember, Pentagon Guider is powering SmartRobie that you see right now in here. And if you enjoy the show, what you have seen, feel that is educational, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate your time spent with us in here. Now also the S&P 500, some of the champions, no doubt if you look at it, everything seems to be down, but if you have picked the right stock like the S&P 500 in here, you would have CrowdStrike, which actually looks pretty well, and some of the charts again does look like this. You can see from the red Pentagon, the market dipped back lower, but it did not break through the ATR stop loss. It did went up about 20%, but since then the market has pulled back a bit. And you notice the last 4 or 5 days, the market has really been beaten down a lot by the so-called the event, which is the continuation of the conflict that we've seen between the Israel and also the Palestine, which right now we are talking about a ground invasion by the Israeli, which actually play down to what we see in this market right now. That's why this market is breaking lower in here. But all is not bad news. So let me give you a bit of good news, right, in the coming slides in here. Now let's take a look at what we have here so far for the US sector, which is the last 3 months still continue to do so well. It's actually the E stands for energy sector, C is the communication sector, V is the, I believe, the healthcare, then we have the industrial, finance, this is actually the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and also SLK is the technology, P is consumer. So you can see the order of this sector is kind of important because we find that through this sector you're able to pick the kind of stocks that actually resonate if the market were to go up for this US market in here. So this is something that you want to be looking into. And from the VSA 360 dashboard, what we have seen, there are only two stocks or two sectors. Remember, XLP, XLU, which is a utility, are ETF stocks. These ETF stocks are something you can also buy into the US market. You can check it out through the trading view in here. It's just that the S&P 500 in SmartRobie are just covering stocks. We don't have the US ETF. So XLP still Green Pentagon, and XLU is also Green Pentagon, and probably one of the reasons why is because consumer stable utilities and utility sectors does benefit from higher inflation. They do benefit from higher inflation, and also that's why it is still the Green Pentagon in here. Okay, so and a little bit of good news for those of you who want to know why the market reacted it is the US economy actually came out I think at 2 o'clock in the morning, grew at the fastest pace, 4.9% since last quarter, fastest since 2021. Now this may actually push back the fear of the recession for now. People have been talking about recession, and I did cover it also on this Wednesday in here. So perhaps, and I did say before, using the HOPE framework, HOPE, check out the video that they had. Recession is unlikely because we do see very healthy employment rate in here, or the unemployment rate maintained to low. But what really causing the sell-off that we see, despite the earnings yesterday, that is Meta as well as Amazon coming out in here, is the inflation rate. Now remember, the inflation rate is still perceived to be right now at 3.7, and again we got another 2 more weeks. We'll probably see the October interest rate in here. As long as when the economy is still growing, just like here we have 4.9%, then we are likely to see the inflation rate rises. So with the inflation rate rises, what's going to happen? You all know it, right? US Federal FOMC may want to raise in terms. The word is here may want to raise, and because of the may want to raise, that's why we see this market continue to fall. But my opinion is that the Feds has already done with the rates hike. But of course, market are looking where we see right now is the 10-year yield treasury rate history, and you can see we are looking at perhaps what we have is a runaway interest rate higher. You can see the 10-year yield continue to go higher. So when rate goes up, bond price come down, and this will also put pressure on what? That's right, US Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, to raise interest rate. And we all know, right, based on even the past, raising interest rate would only compounded the downtrend of the tech sectors, and that's why we see the tech continue to break below the market that we see. So on the backdrop of what I've just said here, where the market is, Dow Jones, S&P 500, NASDAQ, it's all broken the 33K support here. You can see this is the 33K support broken in here, and looks further trend down in here. No doubt October seasonality tend to be the market bottom. We have to see whether November we see the kind of rally that we have, just 2 more months, but we have to watch out for any spring right now at 33,000 in here. That's what we are looking for. But having said that, the Dow Jones is below the 200-day moving average. Okay, now looking at the NASDAQ, which still above the 200-day moving edge. That is the only so-called silver lining have we seen here, but it did break over the 1460 support level. Again, same story, market likely to go down in here. Railway track is still pointing downwards, so trend is still down, and hopefully we see some sort of spring. We have two sell-off. You can see from this bar, one sell-off, another sell-off in here. So we don't know. We are looking something like a spring here, then the market will rebound back in here. But having said that, now the market has, hopefully what we see here is a wash, and November will likely to rebound back. I'm still bullish on that market rebounding back. And similar story also for the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies, which continue to be bearish right now. The support at 4,200 level has been broken and will likely to go lower in here. Railway track, which is a 20 and 40 moving average, still coming down in here. So again, look for springs, all right, a 2-bar reversal. Those are the sign of strength that the market will rebound back. But right now, the big significant part about it is it broken this 200-day moving average, and with that, a lot of the media, the blogger, influencer in the stock and trading will be saying sell your S&P 500 that it is in here. But if you look back, things really doesn't look as much on the surface it is. We have to look at underlying, and that's why we want to turn our attention to what's really happening in the market. Now, first thing for sure, there are still some stage 2 shares. Stage 2 shares are what we call the uptrend, in continuation of uptrend. Now, last week we have OCP, Hilton, Fang, CRM, and also the energy sectors. Unfortunately, many of these also turned downwards as the market hit, and also we saw the lower prices of crude oil. Okay, the prices of crude oil came down, so we go to S&P 500. So let's check out COP, which is the ConocoPhillips energy stocks here, right? It was trending downwards. I think when we had it last week on the 20th October, which is the market was here, and then the Red Pentagon came out because the prices came down and well back support. So it's going to be a range market for many of these energy sectors in here. Even one of my favorite is XOM, all right, which I did cover it too, the XOM. And let's look at XOM. XOM is the Exxon Mobil in here, which is the one that Exxon okay, Exxon Mobil, or ESSO in Malaysia, right? You can see from here 1 month again, the 20th was the high, but it has fallen a fair bit. You can see from the high of $120 in here, and in the coming weeks or months, many people are continuing to be bullish. Even I saw an analyst report that is in our partner website, which is USmart SG, is looking XOM at target price of 140. But right now I don't see it, but I do see a double bottom that is forming in here. You can see first bottom, second bottom. I don't know whether this thing is going to go up, and whether the Hamas and the conflict between the Hamas and Israel is going to be pushing further, escalating. Then we might see oil going a bit up from here. Okay. Okay, Martin, you mentioned Nasdaq at 14K, but KLSE screener Nasdaq at 12K plus, which is the correct level. Let me just go back. Now remember, the Nasdaq I've showed you is the future charts. I use the future charts because that's where I can get the futures chart of the in here. All right, so let me just take a look at the Nasdaq in here, and I'll just go over to Nasdaq. So NQ. Okay, I'll look at the Nasdaq future, which is 14K. That's right. You can see from here, 14K is the level. 12K is right below lah. All right. I do think that maybe you need to check with the sources in here, so you can see this is a real time in here. Perhaps later on I will go over to the KLSE website to check on that one. Thanks, Lok, for notifying right in here. So let's take a look at this week, the 27, the stocks. Nike, all right, consumer cyclic, and also consumer defensive. Walmart is those two stocks which is really all of us are familiar with, and also Spotify, which I do subscribe to Spotify. And I did heard one news that they continue to grow their subscriber base, continue to do very well. So of course, let's take a look at Nike, right? Nike NKE. So let's look at the stock chart. And you can see the stock chart did drop yesterday, right? After registering a nice bull, market drop up. So we just have to wait for the market to sort of level down before buying into it in here. Let's look at Walmart, which is also neither 90%. All right. So Walmart. So let's look at Walmart here, and Walmart seems to be ranging also, but did put on a good green Pentagon in here. So next week we're going to coming back and check out, see whether this stock has put up. And not to forget Spotify, SPOT, and of course every morning you can really go and look into some of these stocks when the market reopen to really get yourself educated. And also if you have not opened up account, do open it with US Smart SGX. This one our partnership collaboration in here. And also more importantly, you can also when you open up account, make sure you use the invitation code. Later on I'll give you that invitation code and you can get 400 SmartRobie credit in here. Let's take a look at Spotify, which is 158 in here, and you can see breaks up in here, another 2-bar reversal. All things like it or not, the smart money did came in and just push and sell it down in here. So let's take a look in the coming months. This may be good. All right, we have to see what is this, but the increase in subscriber base is very similar to Netflix. So Netflix, NELFI, check out the Netflix too, because I did heard that they did have a very good earnings coming out too. All right, so you can see Netflix did jump up. You can see from here falling from 450, jump up to 390. Level didn't turn green Pentagon because of the huge jump. It's still in the red, but perhaps later on we will see the other stocks will turn up. Okay, now let's take a look at also don't forget to subscribe to our daily newsletter in here, and a public announcement for our Muslim friend. This is how you can obtain the Sharia US shares using the Halal ETF. Now on the website at wahid.com/my/HLA, just go over to it. It has a listing of 220 stocks. You can check it out in here, so you can trade and also invest tanpa was-was. All right, just a public announcement in here. I think I covered earlier. Now let's take a look at also on the fundamental shares previously that we have. We have TPX. TPX, let me just switch to a wider chart here, was actually the silly baiting. Now remember last week we have a lot of market selling in here, but the only stocks that actually gained was Victoria's Secret. Now maybe because it is a luxury and premium item, can withstand the sell off, or maybe smart money ready to push up in here. Let's take a look at the fundamental VSCO, Victoria's Secret stock fundamentals, whether it pays any dividend or not. And you can see from here it didn't pay any dividend, but the ROE was 98%. That seems to be very, very high in here, right? So maybe that's why it sustained the level. The other one is Tempo Silly. No, last week we saw it just around $40, and it continued to break lower with the Red Pentagon. So this one is a stock. So if you're longer term, you might want to hold it, but then again it has broken below the support, so we do not know when it is. But let's check out the TPX and see whether this pays a good dividend or not, and it's worthwhile to hold it. Right, and usually this kind of market 1.1%, maybe it's better to just exit and then come back a bit later on another occasion. Now this week, let's look at on the 27th October, we have two stocks, GSL Global Ship Lease, and you can go onto the website here, so you can see it's actually doing leasing, and VZ, which is Verizon, very similar to Celcom, DG or Maxis. They are one of the big telco provider in US market here. GSL, which is a shipping company in here. Let's take a look at the FAGSL. It's coming up from a very low base, have a nice double bottom, and it's also very cheap too. And let's see whether this market can spring back up. Looking at the stock fundamentals, right? And one thing you can really like it, it's really could be a value trap. You can see right at a P of 2 times with a ROE of 33 and pay 8% dividend. Wow, that's something that cannot believe, right? So you want to check out more about this company in here. But anything that's less than PE of 4 on top of me here, you can see can be a value trap. Can be a value trap. All right, next one is Verizon. You can see they do the kind of handphones that they have. Let's take a look at VZ. right, at the stock fundamentals. All right. Also, the earnings came out was pretty well. It pays a 8.5% dividend, similar to what DG in Malaysia also paying around 4%. Right, check out the SmartRobie for the Bursa in here. PE of 6, while the sector average is 35, with a ROE of 23%. That simply tells you this is a fairly undervalued stock. But do take note, we have resistance right now at the 34 level in here. So coming to it, our Pentagon guide, for those of you who don't know, our unique proposition is that we make technical analysis very easy to read, when to enter, when to exit, denoted by the green Pentagon. Those of you who are familiar, green Pentagon gives you the up signal, red Pentagon give you the down signal in here. More importantly, you can set up your watch list, which is what I've talked about earlier on. If you are following any certain shares like Tesla, more of those popular stocks, like Meta or Amazon or Microsoft, you can set that up in your SmartRobie apps in here, and really the apps in here will have the notification, right? So eventually you'll get a blue cells in here, and also set up the watch list for the US stocks, which is not that difficult. Play around with it, download it too. You get a green and a red Pentagon respectively when the green and red Pentagon comes out. So we'll tell you the up signal and the down signal in here. All right, and also it does come out on your stock notification, so you'll be aware of it, and it's a freebie for newbie. That's right. Now, of course, SmartRobie here, it's powered by the powering the apps in here, Pentagon Guider. So make sure you use it to your advantage in here. And just now I was talking about our collaboration and partnership with USmart. So make sure when you open up account, use NYVJPA. All right, for that one, and you get 400 credit. If you don't, just let us know. We have a support line 010-266-9761 to get you all started in here. So as a summary in here, US market definitely looking bearish in here, like to go lower before, if any, or likely we see some sort of rebound next month in November. We may see probably that rebound mid of November or even early December. We don't know, but based on historical back testing that we have, that is why it is likely to happen. Some of the Robie FA stocks must pay a little bit of dividend, but take note, if you are non-residential, you do get taxed at 30%. In Malaysia, it's about 10% for the dividend, so US is just paying another 20% more for that one. And of course, our Trade VSA continue to be supported by our members. We appreciate your support in here. If not, you want to join us for the membership, Trade VSA premium membership in here, and start your journey just like some of our members who's been with us some time and has achieved some great success in here with a very decent return for so far for this first 6 months of the year. And of course, if not, you can also check out our free newsletter in here. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all our archive video that we have. All right, so right now, an easy way you can get hold of a VSA 360. Comes with a lot of the great features that you don't usually find it on the SmartRobie apps, and with great review too, right? And right now we're going to be going into the stock review. If you do have any stock review in here, pencil those in. I'm happy to take a look at them. All right, so if there are no stock review in here, thank you for coming and have a good weekend. I'm sure I'll be looking forward for my restful weekend in here. And don't forget to join our Telegram chat room for all the free stock market information that we've been doing in here, and also help you to push ahead for year 2024 for a better returns. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate your time spent with us. Bye-bye.